Hey YouTube, Seance Frank here. This week's episode of Hobby Talk, I wanted to talk about Metazoo. There was big Metazoo news this last week, and that is, by the way, before I talk about Metazoo, there was two subjects I really wanted to talk about. One was this Metazoo news, and number two was Ohtani getting 50-50. Congrats to Ohtani. I will do a video next week about Ohtani. That way we kind of see where he actually ends up the season. But wow, Shohei had the game of his life the other day. But back to this subject, this Metazoo news. Of course, if you guys know, Metazoo, they're a dead card game. Well, they were a dead card game. Went bankrupt. They owe a lot of people a lot of money, including the Sandy Frank channel. But there has been a buyer. So this group of investors, I'm just going to call them a group of investors. Actually, I think they're a investment company that invests in TCGs called Metazoo. They made a very good offer on there was some bidding, and they actually paid over $2 million for Metazoo. And with that $2 million, they get all the leftover inventory of Metazoo. They also get the rights to the name, rights to make the game, everything. So there's possibility, a very good possibility now, that Metazoo is going to be resurrected under this new group. And who knows? Maybe they'll make the game more playable. Maybe they'll finish doing some of these sets that Metazoo was planning, because they got all those the rights to make those new sets that Metazoo never actually put out. But people that have claims against Metazoo, such as myself, they were sent a letter, and in this letter there's a lot of interesting information, such as print runs, and, well, maybe not print runs, but the stock of boxes that Metazoo had left over. And the details of that are pretty revealing. So, of course, the Kickstarter and the first edition boxes, we know they made 25,000 first edition Cryptid Nation boxes. They still have a few of those boxes, but the second edition, well, we'll go to Nightfall. The next set that came out was Nightfall. Nightfall, they made 50,000 boxes, and they don't have any of those left. I don't remember if Cryptid Nation second edition came out before Wilderness, but they came out pretty close together. Cryptid Nation second edition was a disaster, and they printed, I believe, 65,000 boxes of second edition Cryptid Nation, and there's still, I believe it was over 25,000 boxes that they still have of that set. So you can start to see where the bad turns were made by Metazoo. Now, Wilderness, which is this box, Wilderness came out, and it is, in my opinion, the best of all the Metazoo sets. The best overall set. You have a serialized secret rare card. You have the golden tickets in here. Some amazing pulls. They actually only have a couple thousand of these boxes left. And they printed 100,000 boxes. And they actually sold through almost all of it. So this was a very successful set, but it came out at the peak of the Metazoo hype, and Metazoo was never the same after raising those print runs that high, because stores then had to start dumping it to make their money back. The next set that came out was a disaster, Metazoo UFO. Now, I had heard two different numbers. I had heard 100,000 boxes of this got made, and I also heard 50,000 boxes of this got made. But let me tell you, without a doubt, it was the 100,000 boxes, because they still have like 43,000 boxes of UFO that they were never able to move. That is a lot of boxes of UFO. So, another thing you can take away is never pay very much money ever for a Metazoo UFO booster box, because there's just metric tons of it that never even got sold. Okay, that brings us to, this was the, you're looking at critical mistakes made by Metazoo. One was they overshot their potential there with UFO by printing 100,000 UFO boxes, and it just was not received well. This was the height of everyone just dumping it as soon as they got it, because Metazoo was dying. This was the death blow. Well, maybe not the death blow, but it was just another huge misstep, and that is the Seance set. Now, Seance, they only made 50,000 boxes, so they course-corrected quite a bit when they made this set. But the theme of the set is so awful and so dark that it kind of turned a lot of people away from Metazoo. Maybe not everybody. Some people really dig Seance. You know, I'm not one that dug the theme that much, but I still love Metazoo. But there were some people that I'm pretty sure were completely driven away from Metazoo for good with the theme of this set just being so dark. They cut the print run down to 50,000, but it was way too little too late, because they still have 33,000 boxes of Metazoo Seance, which means that only 17,000 boxes ever even got out of the factory. Which, it's mind-numbing that this set was that awful. And then you had the mapped boxes problem, where you open a booster box of Seance, and you can simply open one of each of the pack arts. If you have a holo in that pack art, every pack that has that pack art in your box is going to have a holo. So, incredibly easy to map. You had booster boxes that had no holos whatsoever. What a disaster Seance was from top to bottom. Okay, next misstep. Native. Now, Native is a cool set. I really like it. The art is fantastic. It's really interesting, some of the cryptids that were included in this set. But Metazoo at this point, in I think the minds of collectors and players, was pretty much done. And after having 50,000 boxes of Seance printed up and only being able to move 17,000 of those boxes and being stuck with all those boxes, when Native came out, I heard rumors that there were only a few thousand boxes of this made, and now I'm almost certain that that is true, because I ordered Native and it took forever. It kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Stores were not able to complete their orders because they weren't getting the boxes from Metazoo. This is when Metazoo was having big problems, but yet still selling pre-sales on their website and taking advantage of their customers. This is when Metazoo turned into a really evil, greedy little company. And I still never, no one ever got their Native streamer kits. There's just so many bad things going on at Metazoo at this time. Lots of weird things going on behind the scenes. And I am almost assured that there are hardly any of these boxes left, because 33,000 of these are sitting in the warehouse, and maybe a few hundred of these boxes. I can't remember the exact number. But if you notice, other people that mention the boxes that are from this court document, they never mention Native, which is pretty shady. I'm here mentioning it to you because I think that means that those people are trying to scoop up whatever Native they can find, because it was extremely short printed. And I believe the people that printed the product, they probably told Metazoo to go jump in a lake because they were probably not paying for other products that they printed. And here comes one of the biggest missteps of all was the Kurami set. Hello Kitty Metazoo. Kurami's Cryptid Carnival. They're cute cards and everything, but what a departure from the theme of Metazoo. This was a last gasp desperation move by Metazoo to try to save the company, and it was terrible. It just basically, this set is so far out there compared to the other Metazoo sets that whatever few people that they had left kind of turned them away, and this was the death knell. Was the Cryptid Carnival set. They still have thousands and thousands of these boxes, so it's pretty clear that in order to try to save the company, they went with the Kurami's Cryptid Carnival and just halted Native. And also did pre-sales of stuff they never ended up making, like Legacy. They never did pre-sales of War, thankfully. They were already done by the time that happened. But the set that I think really sent them down the dark path was UFO. Way overprinted and hardly any demand. Seance, I mean, the numbers say it all. Barely anybody wanted this set. Native, they just basically had to stop making it, apparently. And then you have Cryptid Carnival, Kurami's Cryptid Carnival, which was a failed last-ditch effort. So, pretty interesting stuff with Metazoo, with this document. I hope to get my money back that I pre-ordered a couple things from them. Supposedly this sale that the sale of Metazoo gives them enough money, plenty of money to pay all their debtors. So it looks like people that they owe money to, as long as they do what they're supposed to, should get their money back, as long as they did the things they were required to do to try to get the money back. Which go check my previous videos. I showed a video of what you can do to try to get your money back from Metazoo. There's still time. I believe the deadline is in October. So this is my little interesting story on Metazoo. At least I thought it was interesting. And by looking at the numbers of what they have in stock in their stores, kind of you can see where the big downfall of Metazoo was. So thank you for watching. Next week we'll talk about Shohei Ohtani and see what he ended up with during this season, and kind of look back and marvel at the historic season that Ohtani had this year with the 50-50. He's darn near to 55-55 already. Will he get to 60-60? I don't think he can, but man, you can't say anything that this man can't do. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos later.
While I take plots and I cannot lie, you are the brothers I can't deny.